I'm Kathy Richard. I'm the program director.
Can you tell me about how you got involved with this program?
Oh, I was actually, I went back to school because I had raised my kids and, computers were coming up then. So I had to go back to school. And when I was going to school here in Lake Charles, um, I also needed a job. So I joined the work study program there and they sent me here to Big Brothers Big Sisters. And I helped everybody in the office. And I got in kind of tight with the program director back then of the foster grandparent program. And when I finished school, um, I did 2 years with AmeriCorps and was stationed here. And I worked with her and the seniors doing their health information. And then when I finished my 2 years with AmeriCorps, well, she wanted to hire me to work with her, but her budget wouldn't carry me. So I was split between her program and Big Brothers Big Sisters. And then she left and I moved in. And I was thinking about this morning. I have really only loved 2 jobs in my entire life. Well, work, that is. I'm not counting being a mother. And one was an oil company I worked for out of Lafayette, and this one. And you love your job when you really don't want to take any time off. I mean, you have to or you lose it.
Right.
You really don't want to take that time off. You want to be here and be with everybody that you work with. And for me, I call them my little people, my senior citizen volunteers. They're family. I mean, it's some people, they like to put that distance between them and their volunteers. And I feel that my job as director is not only to place them in the schools, give them training and do all the work that I'm supposed to do, but I'm also here for them. Some, they may not have any family in town or even in state, or they may have problems with family that are here in town and they don't have anybody to talk to. So I'm also an ear for them to tell their problems to. I don't try to solve their problems, but I'm at least here to listen to them. So we all get close, and needless to say that when I unfortunately lose one, it's like losing a member of my family, and it just breaks my heart. But that's the way this program is. You're working with seniors, and eventually you're going to lose one.
Can you tell me how the foster grandparent program works?
Well, it's it's seniors 55 and older. We recruit low-income seniors because it is a stipend program. The stipend is to help them to be able to afford to be in the program, and it helps supplement their income. It's a small stipend. It's not going to make them rich, I promise you. It's non-taxable, so it's not going to make them rich. And what they do is, after they've gone through their background checks, their physical, their orientation training, I assign them to a school that's as close to their house as I can get it. And they go into the schools and they work one-on-one with children who are struggling academically. My grant that I am renewing this month, I am strictly going with reading this time instead of reading and math, because the children, because of the pandemic and us 2 hurricanes all in 2020,
Mm.
the children are 2 years behind in reading. So we are trying to help the teachers as best as we can to get these children up to par. It's probably going to take a little while to get them up there, but we're gonna get in there and do everything we can to help these kids get their reading up, because without reading, you forget about doing math, you can't read the problems or the directions. So we want to get them with their reading. It has to be our main focus right now. So the counselor and the teachers at the school will, at the beginning of the school year, after they've done their testing of the kids, they'll see where they're at. Then they'll know who needs the most help, and that's where they assign the grandparents to. And they go into the classroom and they work with these children that they're assigned to and help them learn their reading, help them improve their reading. And these volunteers, once they're in the classroom, they become everybody's grandma, grandpa, mama, papa, whatever it is that they decide that they're going to call their volunteers, and the children love them. They get attached to them, and if they see the grandparent in a store, they'll go running up to them and mama so and so, and that leaves the parents standing back there going like, huh? But and it's a lot of these kids too, their grandparents, they either don't have any living grandparents anymore, or their grandparents aren't in town, so they don't have that much visitation with their grandchildren, their grandparents. So these people kind of fill that void a little bit. And it's the same way for the grandparents. These kids fill the void of them missing their grandchildren. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, how does it affect the grandparents' confidence level?
Oh my God. It affects them on every level. It affects not only their confidence, it helps boost their morale. It gives them a reason to get out of the house. They're able to have something to look forward to every day. And it helps them with their health issues, because they're not sitting at home doing nothing, watching TV all day, or just staring at four walls. They're out in the community. They're out with the children, with other adults, other grandparents that are in the schools with them. So it increases everything. I mean, it helps them to carry on. It keeps their mind busy. So, it keeps that old Alzheimer out of the picture and tells him, stay away, no. And so it's a wonderful program for the seniors. I've had seniors that had cancer that would go to their treatments and then go to school to work. So it really helped to boost them, and to know that, I don't have to go get this treatment and go home and feel blah all day. You go and you're around these kids, and their energy energizes you, and their smile and their laughter, it just lifts your spirits up. And knowing that you're doing something to help the future of our nation, I don't even have words to explain how they feel. I know if it were me, I would feel that, like, I was the one who helped the president get to where he is today.
Well, I I grew up with learning disabilities, and I was in classes, and I would I would love having a program like yours. Uh,
Right?
how is it for the kids that are getting this extra support?
They they actually look forward to the grandparent going in there and working with them. The ones that actually have the grandparents assigned to them, uh, they love getting that one-on-one attention, the praise that they get from the grandparents when whatever they little improvement they make, and no matter how small it is, the grandparents will say, that, oh my God, that is so good. Oh, you're doing so well. Let's do it again. And the children's faces just light up. And it's to the point where the children in the class that don't need the help, they're kind of a little jealous, and they want to work with grandmother this or grandfather that. And sometimes a teacher might say, well, if you do this, they use the grandparents as a prize. They're not supposed to, but they do. And but it also helps those kids too with, if they may be really doing well in class, but maybe their behavior is a little off. They might have the grades, but this is a treat, and it might help keep them in line, if they're looking for um, something to do for these kids to be able to hold them down so that they don't become a big problem. So I mean, my grandparents go in there with all the praise and love that they can give to these kids, and it comes back to them because the kids just love them.
How does it feel for you that this program is making this impact in not only the grandparents in the program, or the kids as well?
uh I feel so proud. It's like, this is my baby, and my baby is doing so well. I mean, granted, we're nationwide. Um, and I mean, this program has been around, for 50 plus years. So, it's not my baby, but, it's very rewarding. My grandparents, if they're recognized by the public, by these community groups, um, it's for the work that they do, I'm proud of them because they're doing well enough to be recognized outside of our circle. And I just, the if somebody contacts me and wants to give an award to one of my volunteers, I get off the phone and I'm just smiling ear to ear. You'd swear that one of my kids did something great, and it's it makes my heart feel so full.
So you said earlier about everyone's feels like family to you. Uh, what have you learned from some of the grandparents?
Oh my God. My grandparents are something else, I tell you. I've had a lot of grandparents come and go, lost a lot of them. And I mean, when I started doing this, needless to say, I was a wee bit younger. And I have always, even growing up to this day, have taken advice from my elders. And they have all the tricks about if you have a toothache, or your ear hurts or this is bothering you. They have all these old time remedies that, they'll tell you, do this, do that. Um, I had one that was my sinuses were with this weather. Everybody down here, sinuses is going ballistic. But they're telling me, take this, do this, take this. And I'm like, okay, okay. Some of it I'll try and some of it I'll go, But I learned it's a lot of stuff. It's stuff that, I had learned growing up with elders. And besides that stuff, I mean, they've actually taught me how I've always been a patient person, but they've taught me how to be more patient. And they have really lifted me up through some dire times in my life. I've almost 9 years ago, I lost my only child, and my grandparents were here. 4 years later, I lost my only sister. My grandparents were here. 3 years ago this month, 3 years ago this week, I lost my husband. And my grandparents were there for me. They are still here for me. And I love them all dearly. They're my friends. They're my listening post, because sometimes there's things that's going on and I try not to let them get in too much into my personal life, but they've raised their children. Some of them have raised their grandchildren. And my son's only child, I raised him. He's 19 now. And so sometimes, I'll talk to them about there was something going on with my grandson, and they would give me advice on that. So it's a give and take relationship that we've got. My little ladies they're there for me as I would be there for them. So we're family.
How is
They
it to
probably don't fight.
well,
They don't want to fight with me.
well, how is it having that support system for you and them as well?
I think it's wonderful. Like I said, some of my seniors, they don't have family here. Maybe they've outlived their siblings, and sometimes they just need someone to listen to them. And my door's always open. My phone is right there. Whenever they need me to hear them out, maybe they'll call and ask me, where can they go for this kind of help or that kind of help, services that may be in the community. I'll look it up, I'll find what they need, I'll give them the information, and if it helps them, great. If it doesn't, let's try another avenue. They're really the best group of people that you would ever want to know. Now, my numbers, I used to have a lot of grandparents. But due to COVID and the 2 hurricanes, and not really so much COVID, but it was the hurricanes that I lost my numbers because they lost their homes and had to move out of state to live with family. COVID, I didn't lose any grandparents from COVID directly, it was more indirectly because of being shut down for almost 2 years. Those that did have some health issues and the program was able to keep them active were inactive for almost 2 years. So their issues became more prominent and they had to leave the program. So now I'm back to building up my numbers again. And it's hard, but we'll get there.